tap into 2024
The
with
one before, the
purpose.
one before.
Before. A member of Toastmasters since 2008. And one more thing I want to share with you. She is also an author. Listening is sexy. Over to you, Miranda.
Thank you, Shu-Chen. Thank you all. It is my pleasure to be sharing with you this topic. Let me start with a disclaimer. I am not a very good planner. And so I would like to do this with you all because I know that all of us have failed our New Year resolution. Please type in the chat if you had failed your New Year resolution, not once, not twice, but many times. I need to put my set too. Type yes if you have failed many times and still trying, many times. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So I think, can we all agree that half complete? All right. Well, Shelina didn't. So I think majority of us are in the same boat. We have failed our New Year resolution again and again. And this is not new. It's not an uncommon thing. And so today we would look into that, about why we failed our New Year resolutions. And I would like to invite all of you to start 2024 on the right foot this time, and together, and maybe we can create a accountability group together and share our resolutions together, and let's finish it this year. How does that sound to you all? You like it? Go in the journey with me? Yay! All right. So this is, today we're going to look, is it working? All right, okay, here. Today we're going to look into this, oops, sorry. Why New Year resolutions often fail, and then increasing the probability of success of your New Year, of our New Year resolutions, and some secrets to making your resolutions stick for good. And then we will end with sharing and celebrating your New Year resolutions now, before we start. So these are why New Year's resolutions often fail. And this is an amalgamation of many research, psychological and behavior studies, observations, and what experts usually share. So have a look. I'll give you 2 minutes to read, and then type in the chat which one has been for you the cause of what you consider as your failure in the New Year's resolutions. By the way, that one, unrealistic goal, is number 1. So you can type as many numbers as you want. And I will also share with you mine. Okay. Well, you guys are doing very well because I have a lot. So hopefully by sharing it with you, I will get more inspired, and having you being with me, I will remember that I cannot shy away from that, because I have declared it. Yes. So unrealistic goals. This is something that often plague us, ambitious or vague. And then when it's vague, then we get discouraged easily. And then lack of planning. I saw some of you writing lack of planning. But most of you actually write number 8, which is not tracking progress. Well, kudos to you. I mean, you did everything right except not tracking progress. So let's see what we can do in the course of this training, or this sharing. What will come out of that? And looking at all the possibilities and the reasons why we could fail, I've crystallize it into 3 main things that often are overlooked by people. What we make goals without really realizing why we want those goals. We could say we want a better house, we want a better car, and sometimes you reach it, or sometimes you're not. But when you achieve it, it still doesn't make you happy, doesn't make you satisfied. Have you ever experienced that? You have a big goals, you achieved it, and then what? It's just that. Yeah. And I would like to share with you a few things that maybe we can look into a little bit deeper and approach this New Year resolution, or stepping into a new year in a slightly different way or perspectives. Sorry if you hear some noises, that is my dog. Okay. So, but it's important to know where you are now. And this is what I think, like, sometimes we are not very clear about what we want or why we want it. And I find that if we can, or we start with, like, we're not being very happy where we are, and then we want something that we think will make us happy, without really looking at where we are, that we can also appreciate our life. And I find that when we can practice appreciating, this is something that maybe the biggest learning that I have for this year is learning to appreciate, not just being grateful, but also appreciating, because appreciating is so much bigger than being grateful. When you're grateful for, let's say, your partner, because he does or she does this and this and that. Or I'm grateful for my friend because they do this and that. When you say you are grateful because, there is condition in that. And imagine if there is none of what they're doing, would you still be grateful? But appreciating is a much bigger way of being incorporating that gratitude, but also being able to appreciate every moment. And it's a very different place to live in, what I find. Like when you can appreciate the streets that you're driving on, and imagining that there are so many people who have thought about creating that and making that happen, and now we can appreciate the comfort and the joy of driving it. So let's do this instead of me just talking incessantly. So let's do this together. Let's share, everyone share what you appreciate in your life. One thing that you really appreciate in your life. Did you do that? Appreciate, what is something that you appreciate in your life? I love that. Have a good day when you get home safely. Okay. Yeah, keep doing that. And I know it may take a little bit, but yeah, grateful for friends, family, and relatives. Yeah, I'm oh, already get 10 minutes. Live in a peaceful country. Yeah, there's a lot to be said about that. We live in a very peaceful country. Grateful for my grandchildren. All right, thank you. Okay, so there are many things that we are appreciating. Such creativity. That's for me. And what about what you don't like about in your life? One thing that you can't stand or just makes you unhappy. Time wasters. Okay. All right. That's one of my pet peeve. Dramas. Oh, poverty in the world. Yeah. Traffic jam. I can tell you from Jakarta, Maja. All right. You know, a wonderful thing when we can say what we don't like is it helps us being too soft sometimes, not knowing how to say no. Okay. All right. So now we're going to turn that into what it is that you want. So when you don't, it's very important to know what you don't want, because then we will know what we usually immediately know what we want, which is usually the opposite. And then we ask deeper about what is the opposite of what we want. We will be, sometimes we'll be surprised. So let's say, Marja, I'm going to go with you, okay? Traffic jam. You don't like traffic jam. You don't want traffic jam. Immediately, what can you say about what you want in relation to that?
The place where I can drive and it doesn't take much time to go from one place to another place.
Okay. So yeah, smooth driving, speed, fast, right? What would you get when you have that? What would it give you when you can drive smoothly and free flowing traffic and get to places fast?
Happiness.
Happiness. Okay. All right. So happiness. So happiness is something that is important to you, or peace or ease. And so this is what will, this is a little exercise is what is helping you when, you know, like when, let's say you want to go into the future, right? And by the way, Marja, I just want to chime in a little bit. Today, I was driving around in town, and everywhere I go, it takes 5 minutes and 11 minutes in the middle of the city. And I was really appreciating that. I'm so happy in my town of Denpasar. Yeah, so I understand really what it means for you.
Thank you.
Yes, to be able to drive. And I was really like, wow, it only takes 5 minutes to go from this place to another, and everything's so compact and so beautiful. So and that's not Ubud, by the way, it's Denpasar. So when we know what we don't like, then we know what we want. So let's say you want happiness, right? And then but you know, you think the strategy would be, if there's no traffic, then I'll be happy, right? And so what is the end point of your desire?
End point?
Yeah, the end point. So you said that, you know, you wish you would like to have no traffic, that then you can be happy.
Move to another place?
So what you want, the end point is like you want to be happy.
Yes.
Yeah. So one of the things that can make you happy is that, right? So
Yeah.
and this is when we want to set our goals, set our dreams. Sometimes we say, oh, I just want to earn like $100,000 or 500,000, $500,000 this year. You just pull it out of a hat, but you never really know why you want that. But if we go deeper, we dig deeper and we say, why do we want that? And then what could be the answer? The answer could be, oh, it makes me feel good, makes me look good, makes people respect me, or I could do so much. I could do a lot of good things in life. And then when you go a little bit deeper like that, when something more worthy or more meaningful, then it makes a reason, it gives us a deeper reason for wanting it. Yeah, that's what I mean by, by finding the why of we want something, because this would help us in motivating ourselves when things are not very clear. Okay, so now, sorry, where am I? Sorry. Yeah. So now let's say we know what we want. We have a clear idea of we want. I mean, that's just the steps to get to where we want with our goal, with what we want and why we want it. So now we have a resolution, whatever it is, losing weight, finding a partner, finding more money. And now how do we do that? And this is what is suggested, what I think also works to help to increase the success in finding that. And the first one is the limiting beliefs. So the limiting beliefs, I'm just going to go straight here. Limiting beliefs is like, you know, have you guys heard of law of attraction? Raise your hands if you have. Himing, yes. Is anyone else? Have you heard of law of attraction? Law of attraction basically says that you get what you focus on. And this is where beliefs, sometimes we don't realize that it's actually hindering us in getting what we want. Let's say we want to be rich, we want to be successful, but if there is a belief or there's a part of us that keep thinking, oh, it's going to be hard, I can't do that, it's not going to happen, or maybe it's for others but not for me. It's like this kind of like incessant thoughts running in the back of your mind. Then that is what we're really focusing on instead of focusing on what we really want. And with that, what we want seems like we keep wanting, but we actually focusing on what we don't want. That you know, that beliefs, that not believing in ourselves. I mean, I'm talking because I've gone through things like this with myself, and sometimes we do self-sabotage, and we talked earlier about goals that are not clear or vague. And if I don't achieve it, then I probably, you know, being hard on myself, and that is like could create self-sabotage sometimes. And then blind spots. Blind spots is something that we don't realize we're carrying on, or we're thinking, or we're doing. And this is something that having a coach or having an honest friend can help you with. So that is something that we need to look at. What if we're wanting something and we're not having it, what are the thoughts and the beliefs that are running in the background, kind of like I think it's like in the computer, you have something that runs in the background and we don't realize it's running, but it's actually affecting the whole result. And then from there, we set SMART goals. Once we're clear with that, we start our goals. And sorry, this is setting, it should be SMART goals, not MART goals. Setting SMART goals, I'm sure you guys already know the SMART, but I'm talking also about the SMART goals that are fueled by our whys. If we can be clear about why we want it and use that as our driver or as our like inspiration, then the goals are also more aligned and not just vague and happenstance. And with that SMART goals, then you can go into plans and actions. And important when we create actions is that it suits our lifestyle and journey. And what I mean by that is like, you know, you have a lifestyle where you like having time to yourself, and then like, okay, let me just do something with myself. That's a better example. In this world now, everything revolves around digital marketing, and people say if you want to achieve anything, you have to go through, you know, getting followers and having a presence. And for me, that doesn't suit my lifestyle. I don't like to be glued to my device, checking what people like or don't like, and commenting on others. And yet that's how digital marketing or marketing gurus are recommending. Or if you go to a lot of this digital marketing classes, that's how they generally teach people how to do. You have to create a brand, and then you have to market yourself, you have to have presence and stuff like that. That would not suit me in any way. And I'm lucky, recently I found a book called The Prosperous Coach, and it talks about not using social media and then building relationship one at a time, and then creating clients every day, every time, with one conversation at a time, and without using social marketing, and even website is not necessary. So that's something that would suit me, right? So if you do plans and actions, make sure that it's also suit you and it feels good when you're doing it, and not feeling like a burden or something that you feel like you have to and doesn't make you happy. And then keeping and appreciating, keeping track. This is something that I'm learning, like to be gentle, to take small steps, and not focusing on I guess instant gratification, and then track with consistency, something that I'm learning. So most of you probably already know how to do this, but keeping track, being consistent is what will give us that sense of progress also. And the last part of this that I want to talk about is the making your resolutions stick. So build accountability, stay flexible, practice self-compassion, incorporate support systems. So let me just ask you, like in your experience, for those resolutions that you have achieved, what have helped them stick for you? Would you like to share? I mean, you can speak it out. You don't have to just write it. Shalina, do you have any experience with resolutions that you achieve?
Thank you, Miranda. I was taking notes. So for me, I did not answer your first point. Have you failed many times? Yes, I failed too many times. Then I did things that what you shared, it was really effective and helpful for me myself. So last year, I made a very important resolution. And I say myself, I am going to at least stick this in my schedule to see my mom at least once every 6 months. My mom live in Malaysia, I live in Germany. And I also say that make sure that she gets the monetary support that she asked. So there were two things that was very important to me. And somehow, some of you know that in between this journey from January this month to, so January this year to December now, how did I stick to that resolution? Because I told my husband, he's my greatest supporter. So then he made sure that I do it. If I slack off, he does it. And that's one thing you mentioned about it, Miranda. It's like you keep track and somebody supporting you, and that was very important. And then secondly is also that point that you talk about is I have a lot of things in my life happening, and it's very easy for me to go off track. By having this accountability myself to say, okay, track it. Because for me to go to see my mom every 6 months, all of you know that from Germany to Malaysia, how much it costs just to fly.
Yeah.
So I need to keep track of those aspects of it as well. Make sure I'm on track in order I can get myself financially a ticket to go there. So it's very important for me to have that. And what else you mentioned about the thing you mentioned about in other time I made resolution like I want to go these places, I want to go these places. That's what you talk about. The very first one, unrealistic goals. So that's what I learned. That's where you mentioned about it. And I was writing it down. I was like, yeah, everything applies to me. And then when I really use it, that it helps me a lot. So far up to this point, we are at December. I'm very glad to say that I did that twice this year to see my mom.
Beautiful.
And there was one point that I was really saying, no, I don't want to go see my mom because I just saw her 6 months ago. I shouldn't spend the money on this. I should say something else. And then I had somebody check me. It's like, you make this resolution, you hold yourself accountable. So this is what you need to do. And definitely have a supportive environment makes a lot of difference. And guess what? We got that done. And right now, I feel so relieved I did that.
Beautiful.
So that's my sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miranda.
Yes. Yeah. So, looking at this mapping, I realize for me, the biggest part is accountability and get support out of all that. I know, like for me personally, I know my goal, I can make my goal and I can know my why and I can make plans, very detailed, very specific, identifying my beliefs, but the accountability is huge. Like if you have no one with you or no one that you shared your resolution and that would be willing, not just somebody that you shared with, but like actually you ask, are you willing to be my buddy? Just like my accountability. And like Shalina shared, like having somebody who would remind you is like, okay, I cannot back down now. I got to do that because I wanted this, right? And sometimes we forget why we wanted it. So, and it's very important, somebody who cares about your success. And if you can find that one person and just, okay, let's do that. I'll be your accountability. buddy and you be my accountability buddy. So we become accountability buddy to each other. And I've noticed that, you know, when I failed, that is because I don't have an accountability, and it's just easy for the goal, the desire to just slide. And the support part is also very important. The support system around you, a group of friends, and this is what we can create with each other right now. You know, create a support system. And if you already have one, that's great. But if you're alone, it's wonderful to ask somebody. And that's what I just did. I asked for support. I asked for accountability. And I thought before that it was be like it's not that I was proud, but it felt like it's hard. It was hard for me to ask for support. And because I think like, well, people, you know, people will think me weak or something like, which is, I know it's in my head, but I know it's also a common thing why people don't ask for support. So I would highly recommend and highly commend you to ask a friend. And what I find also is that your friend is more than willing to be your accountability buddy and to give you support. And self-care is something that is very, very important. Sometimes, you know, like we have a goal and we try so hard to get to that goal, but we don't get to that goal with joy because it's so tiring and so hard. And we just like keep saying that, oh, we have to do it, we have to do it. So it becomes something that we have to do instead of something that we want to do. And I think this is something that is important to check with ourselves whenever we feel, I have to do this. Then you're not in the right place, because whenever you have to do something, it feels hard, it feels forced, and find a way to turn it into wanting. Either you do that or you changed. And this is where the adjust and adapt and trust comes in my opinion. Sometimes something happens, you may need to adjust, and then in that way you need to adapt. And I truly believe in perfection, either in divine timing, if something doesn't really happen in the moment, despite of everything that you've done. So beware and just be open. Then there might be a different plan that might be something that is actually better for you than what you can think of. And yeah, and then the other part of it is having self-compassion, celebrate wins. And we often forget what we have done, and we only focus on the thing that we don't do well or the, you know, negative. And then I was doing just that exercise and looking back into my life, and actually I have done nice things for others and for myself. But in the moment of self-pitying or of self-doubt, sometimes you forget. And it's not hard to get back to that. Just take a moment and just sit. Okay, how can I appreciate myself? What wins have I gained? And you always find something that will make you feel better and good again. So with that, I would like to invite you all, if you can think, maybe take 1 minute. If you have a 2024 resolution, and I would like to invite you also to celebrate its success, and I'll tell you how to do that. So if you want to write in the chat something that you can think of or you've been thinking of, as 2024 is just around the corner, what would you like differently? What would you like to change? How would you like to grow? Please share. If you would like to share.
Yeah, I'm Harlina.
Yes.
I would like, yes, so next year, Toastmasters is 100 years old, and I really would like to take the opportunity of this anniversary to promote Toastmasters, whether it is on club level or even higher. I don't know how, but
Okay.
that,
Great. Great. Yeah. Write it down also, so that, you know, when we write it down, it makes it stronger. We say it, we think it, we write it. Eric. Yes, please.
My resolution for 2024 is to complete a DTM in January, a DTM in July, and a DTM by end of November. A triple crown DTM.
Wow. January,
I've done my homework.
November.
I've done my January, July, November. A triple crown DTM.
All right, Eric. Write
So
it down.
it is one of the smart goals that I've put ahead of myself.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
Please write it down also. Write it down. So
Yes,
we are your
yes,
witnesses.
thank you.
We are your witnesses. Now that thought has become, that vibration has become thought, it has become manifest because we all heard it. Okay? All right. Anyone else would like to do that? Would like to share your resolution? I'll give you like 2 minutes because then I will go to the next step. Wonderful. Guide, continue to stay fit, get at least 10 people to, 10 people to stay fit per month. Visit at least 3 new countries next year. Beautiful. Pursue a master degree. I'm going to screenshot this. Hey, where happened?
For me, 2024 is all about getting the house in France into some sort of order. It's a mess.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you can, you start now and then you can more specify it, like what you mean in order. Make it a little bit more specific and okay. Everybody, I think about everybody has already done. So let's do the next step. Now we're going to celebrate its success. So what we do, our goals, we can affirm, we can say affirmation 100 times a day, but if we're not connected with it, it's not going to happen. The quickest way and the surest way to make our goals happen is to imagine it and to feel it happening, feel as if it's real, feel it like the feeling is the most important thing. You need to get the feeling, like experiencing that. So let's take a couple of minutes for us all to share, to think, to experience this. Imagine your goals. Imagine your goals. Imagine you're having it, you're touching it, you're seeing it. And if it has a sound, you're hearing it, seeing it, saying it, feeling it. And the most important thing is feel how that feels, having your goals realized. At the moment it's happening, the people that are there with you, and feel how that feels when all that happens. And allow yourself to just feel the emotions, the experience, the sensations, and how good that feels when you are experiencing your goals Make it real, make it feel alive, and feel and see how you walk when all of that is achieved. How you talk, how you look, having achieved your goals, living it, experiencing it, reveling in it. And see what else is possible from that place. And you can feel it, you can feel the upliftment, the joy, then boundless ideas are going to come to you. More possibilities that are going to spring, that are going to spring forth from this place of fulfillment, of achievement. Okay, one more minute. Milk this moment. Feel how good that feels. Feel how real it feels. And allow any ideas to come, all the things that you never thought before. Say to yourself, what if I did this? What if this is possible? What if that is possible? And just let yourself explore, imagine and feel, and just feel how good that feels. And stay with that feeling. So whenever you waver, whenever you lose track, remember this. Remember that you have experienced the fulfillment of it. And your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and imaginations. And the more it's used to feeling the feeling, the stronger the attraction becomes. If you can focus it, the law of attraction will bring it to you. All right. So that is the end of this presentation, and I would really wish you a wonderful fulfillment. But before that, actually, I'm opening it to question and answer, if we still have time. Yes, I'm opening to questions or comments. How much time do I have, Shu-Chen?
3 minutes.
For the question.
3 minutes to reach.
For the question. Yeah.
For the question, you actually got 15 minutes, but used already in your just now the session, the demonstration. So now you have 3 minutes.
All right. If anyone wants to ask question or comments also I will take. If no one asks question, I'm going to ask you questions. Okay, let me ask you. Did anyone do the visualization? Dora, did you do a visualization? Yes. Would you like to share how was it for you, the experience?
Yes, I have 2 resolutions, one for the first half of the year and another resolution for the second half of the year. My first resolution is, of course, the success of the KK conference 2024 as the organizing chairperson. And as what Helena has shared also, it's the 100th year anniversary of Toastmasters International. This only comes once in our lifetime because all of us will not live for the next 100 years to see Toastmasters celebrating its 200th year celebrate anniversary. So I would say that it is a very special conference next year in KK, and I can feel the success and I can feel the fulfillment where hundreds of Toastmasters and non-Toastmasters will gather all in Kota Kinabalu for one common purpose, to be inspired and to share their stories with one another. So that will be a great accomplishment, and all of us, whoever it is who will be attending, we will celebrate on that day during the conference on the stage, celebrating our success on stage and shine.
Beautiful. Beautiful, Dora.
Thank you.
Did you envision it? Did you visualize it? See
Yes.
how it looks like?
Yes.
And how did it feel
Yes.
for you when you
The
did that?
power of positive thinking, the
Okay.
law of attraction, because I love reading books on positive thinking.
Okay. So
Yes.
you already set
Right.
the momentum now. Remember, you already set the
Yes,
momentum.
affirmation that is
Yes.
going to be a great success.
Yeah.
Yes.
So from that place, from that feeling place, now you can make the affirmation. That is the most powerful place to do the affirmation, not just reciting it. Wonderful. Can I hear from one more person who also did the visualization? Shu Chen, did you do?
I did not fully because I was monitoring the time, but it was certainly because I've done affirmations and I even go into visualization, and this has revived me back to go back and continue my affirmation and visualization for 2024.
Beautiful. All right. Thank you. I would love to hear everybody else's, but I know we're short on time. So, but please hang around after we adjourn, and I would love to continue to chat with you. And with that, I conclude my speech, and I wish you all the very best of the fulfillment of your wishes or your goals, your desires. And I am a witness, and you are also a witness. We are all witnesses. We are now each other's support team. We will remember that. Yeah. Thank you. And back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you.
you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give the distinguished Toastmaster Miranda a round of applause. Her topic was very timely. And my session ends here, and I'm very grateful. I got 3 great books to take back. Matrices from Shalina. Documentation, your portfolio. What is your portfolio, Halina? And most of all, for Miranda, the most important, how we're going to plan for 2024 with success. Back to you, to our club president, Shalina. Over to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we can stop recording.